Happy Thanksgiving. Gobble, gobble. Give me a minute. We'll get set up. was annoying. Let's get to it. Good morning. Happy Thanksgiving. Gobble, gobble. All right, let's do it. Let's put this here. I don't know why I have so much crap on my desk. Make sure I have the right mic on. It keeps jumping mics. Hello. Yep, right mic. Cool. All right, let's go. So I think the best place for us to start is just going to be, to me, it's going to be up here. Just go to today. What's this one? I don't need to do the week ahead. If we look at the ES on the 4 hour, just so you can see this, and then I'm going to take a bunch of questions today. We did get above our key level. And we are above this, which is your massive breakdown from last Thursday. And we have tested it here already, and we did hold it. And I think that's super important. I don't feel like why I'm leaning down on this damn thing. Hold on. So that's better. So you can already see that you've come to that area and tested it. And I think that's like really, really important that you're holding that area. You've already tested it this morning. So you're trying to hold. It's kind of like a limp test. You're not really hitting higher highs yet. So you probably want to watch it. And you do have this whole DTL, but it's still up here. And you haven't broken through that DTL yet. And, this takes stages. This takes time to rebuild. That's why you don't ever have to just like rush right into things. You can spend some time like trying to figure out how you're going to get in, et cetera, et cetera. But something like this, it makes a lot of sense to me to look at. So, maybe you get up to there, maybe. Maybe you have another one right here that you already broke. Show you that one. And you can see that. All right. So you already had that one. You already broke it from down here. So you're starting to try to work your way back, which is good. It's what you want to say. You did it. I mean, the perfect undercut was what we were talking about. It's really literally down here. And I don't think it gets much cleaner than that. So pardon my voice. So I don't think it gets much cleaner than that. You come down, you undercut, and now you have to see if you're going to get above it or not. People are always like, oh, the head and shoulders. Yeah, I agree. You tried to break it, you failed. And there's nothing really stronger than a failed like bearish pattern because everyone's expecting it to break and it didn't. So I think that's super important. I do. And the thing about earnings, the retail side's on fire. I mean, we keep hearing how bad the consumer is. The consumer's so bad. Someone tell that to, Kohl's or Abercrombie, or Urban Outfitters today. Like, they're out there. They're buying their fancy jeans and their sparkly shirts, and they're going clubbing with their glow sticks. It's on. So I don't know. I think it's something where people are way off on the retail side, like way off. You can say it. Like, I just think they're so far off. It's not even funny. But to get back to the NQ for a moment, I kind of have this already set up for us for time's sake. Your DTL, I use the bodies. You should use what you're comfortable with. So you stopped here on the DTL, right here. That opening from Thursday, you can't get over it, and you stopped right on peak VWAP. It's not it's really not the place you want to go, and it's really not the place where you want to go and probably go hog wild. It's probably really the place you want to see how things, really shake out there and go from there. I don't know that you want to go crazy there. I really don't. Pardon me. So let's just see how it goes. I don't know. It's not that I don't think that you're going to break. I don't know that you're going to have enough to focus on. I'm not going to go through claims and all that. If the market was going to move, it would have moved. It's definitely something on my radar where it's a concern. It's definitely a concern of mine. You know, like you're not going to get the volume today. I don't think. This is one of those like super light volume days where things get kind of wild and you're able to pick things up at a discount because people aren't paying attention, and it is what it is. And so I don't know that you have to go, crazy here. I'm more interested in if things sell off to kind of get involved with them and then kind of go from there. That's really where, pardon my voice, where my head is. So, let's see what happens and we'll go from there. Individual names, obviously I think more people are going to digest Google over the Thanksgiving holiday than anything else and try to understand it. And their kids will explain it to their boomer parents. And then that usually gets a move out of it. I don't know that you're going to light the world on fire again today, but there's definitely something to it. Meta benefits greatly because of its cost. You came a long way in a very short period of time. I'm not sure you keep pushing there. If we look at something like a Meta, that's 650. I believe that's your big call wall up there. So I'm not really sure you're going to get through that in the next 2 days with this kind of volume. If there's news or something, maybe maybe, but I'm not really buying that. So I don't know that you're going to, but it's definitely up there. I don't know that you're going to get there in the next 2 days. I don't see it. I don't think you're going to get the kind of volume. So I definitely think there's something to that. If we take a look at the ones that still have earnings to come out, you guys are probably going to ask about like AVGO. Let me just see something here. Pull these levels up too. I mean, AVGO is so cheap. God, it's so cheap. But you have your wall up here where people are going to get involved. I remember buying this at 90 and everyone told me I was crazy. It's 400. So, and the AEO, that's kind of interesting, but I don't know that you have to go down that road today. In regards to like NVDA, you're kind of holding levels, but I don't know that people are just going to just absolutely just plow into it. Him like congratulating them was super weird. So yeah, you moved down on your, let me just see something here. I think you moved down on the put wall too. Yeah, you did. So they moved it down. They bought puts way lower. I think it's going to have an overhang to an extent. People are going to say, oh, it's at a discount now. And it is. It is at a discount. So, maybe you do get some support here. I think it should still trade at its growth rate, and it's not. So there's definitely something to it. But, tech changes. I'm always amazed by people when maybe it's just experience. They hold the same belief that they hold the day before when they get a new data point, and they just look for confirmation bias. Like it's absolutely crazy. I read the comments on like the YouTube videos, and it's like, well, you said this was going to happen. I'm like, well, I didn't know that a multi-billion-dollar deal was going to be placed yesterday. So it's just always fascinating to me that people don't change their outlook when they get new information. And again, maybe it's just from years of doing this, but 160 seems like a dream. Like you'd want to buy the hell out of it if it happens. I think equating this thing to, Intel and AMD is going to take them out and equating AVGO to that. I think that's delusion and a lack of understanding, but it's definitely something you have to concern yourself with. NVIDIA does, because a lot of these companies are going to vertically integrate, and Google's the first one that did it, but Amazon's going to do it. Meta's not going to do it. Meta's like, whatever, we'll just buy Google's chips. I don't understand why he doesn't do that. He's more in a horizontal integration, I guess, but whatever. So I'm more interested in taking people's questions today. I really like how the market acted yesterday. I really like some of these names. Some of these names just, I'm so annoyed that I missed them because I couldn't buy, damn it, everything. But 185 is just such a gift on this. And I'm going to regret that one. That's the one I had nightmares about last night. So what else? I don't think you really want to go through the crypto stuff yet. I don't think that's over yet. Someone sent me a DM on that. I got to get back to him. The other thing that I think super interesting is this WBD. And I'll tell you why I find it interesting. They went out there and they asked for offers. So Netflix, Comcast, and Peace Guy gave them offers. The only one that they showed to the street that they released publicly was Peace Guy at 23.5. And now they're saying we want all new offers. We want them all sweetened and we want them by this date, December 1st. You already set a deadline and no one has presented an offer or they haven't publicly shown an offer that's higher than 23.5. And that's really interesting. So like at first Paramount showed their hand and they put that out there as a public statement. I didn't see Netflix come out and say, we'll give you 26 cash. So I'm a little concerned still about the private credit side of the market. But let's take questions. Let's take some questions. And I think that's the easiest way to focus on this right now. I'm just looking at some of this stuff. Like, I'm not going to get a shot at this, am I? Give me a second here. This is going to annoy the crap out of me. Thank you, little British guy. Give me 1 second here, please. What the hell am I missing? Something's going on there. There's news, definitely. So this is a thing I developed. See how it's like all red? And it gives me a number associated with it. So like if I go and look at like AVGO, like watch, like if I go look at AVGO, like that kind of thing, you'll see that I don't have any of that right now, right? Or if I go look at NVDA, what the hell's that? Oh, for God's sake, these damn internets. From nothing, you're highly entertained. All right, we'll just switch the damn camera. How about that? How about them apples? $8 camera, $20 camera, boom. Anyway, see how like the volume's like light here? Eventually I'm going to turn this thing on so people have access to it. But so like if I go and look at something else or just pick another name, like I can go look at like Micron, right? Like Micron, all right. And Micron's like, I don't even have average volume. Well, Oracle, they can't get in fast enough. So like I'm missing something, like I'm missing something. I'm trying to figure out what the heck it is. So definitely missing something when it starts acting like this. It doesn't have to be up or down, but there's definitely something going on there that we don't know about yet. There it goes. Let's buy more. Thank you, little British guy. So we're missing something. If you know what it is, let me know because I don't see it yet. Deutsche Bank 375 target price. IREN, are they all running too? Let's take a look at those. Let's get to it. See if we can make more money. More money, yay. Anytime you're ready. IREN now. CIFR. There's something going on with that one. Julian. Who knew we'd be trading this morning? Who knew? NBIS, what are you doing? No. CIFR, they're buying the most. Take a look at Microsoft. What are you doing? Microsoft's ramping. Not like Oracle, though. Oracle, I'm missing something. But you are ramping, yeah. There's no doubt about it. So are they going after software this morning? The IGV names? Let's go take a look at NVIDIA. Yeah, it is. That's crazy. Something's going on. All right, let's get to it. What's up, John? Yeah, the Wayfair is super interesting. I'm going to grab this and throw this over here because I'm going to be trading. Well, you guys don't have to sit there and stare at the same damn chart all day. The Wayfair is super interesting to me. Because I think with these tariffs, let's get rid of all this. I tried it once. I got stopped out. You're still holding the line. You held it with Doji, breaks out, held the line again. So you still have net buyers down here, which is super interesting. But you definitely have them. So, let's see how this goes with it. But 100% super interesting. I agree. What is this? Get off my screen. I thought this and Restoration Hardware would actually move. I don't really understand why Restoration Hardware is not participating in this at all, but it's not. So I'm not really sure why. But I sure thought it would, but it's not at all. I actually had a call wall right up here. You can see it. And it hit it like a ton of bricks. I don't know, John. I would think that those things really move on tariff news, but they don't really seem to be doing that, do they? So it's kind of interesting to me because you would think they'd be doing that, but they're not. I do like that name. Um, are they going to be buying electronics the same way that they're buying clothing? You know, your guess is as good as mine, man. Yeah, I don't know. I'm not really feeling that. The TPRs might be interesting. FYI, guys, you have that trading view again. I should put that link out there again for you guys. You have that trading view till Friday, so you might really want to get that. You know, you definitely want to look at that. This is interesting because you're going to they're buying the pocketbooks again and the handbags and the everything. So there might be something to that one. I think it's got something more to do with clothing and lower priced items of clothing, you know, than pocketbooks and all that, right? So I think you're better off staying in that wheelhouse because, like, if you look at these names, like, watch, like, if you look at those names, like Ross Stores, like they're just exploding. Kohl's was just ridiculous how they crushed, like it's insane. Um, so when we see that stuff, I think you really got to pay like close attention to it. You know, for me anyway. Give me 1 second here. So I do. I think you have to pay like really close attention to this. It seems like it's the big box names. Like Dick's didn't do really well. It's like it looks like it came back from yesterday, um, which is kind of interesting that it's doing what it's doing because everyone didn't like it because of shutting the Foot Locker down. But then people must have gotten why they were shutting the Foot Lockers down, and then they bought the stock. Pardon me. I think that's super interesting. So it's definitely worth our attention to pay attention to that, right? Um, I think it is. So the big box stores like Kohl's, Dick's, Ross Stores, like they're killing it. Like they just are. Target's just, is the weird one, but you got a new CEO in there. Walmart killing it, right? So when we see this stuff, like I don't know if it's handbags. Like I don't know if that's where they're going. So then you go look at like LVMHF, which is Louis Vuitton. And that came right off that bottom. Right? It's where you want to get involved. See, I can't close. You can't make a weekly high close over that bar. Third time you can't do it. Bonk, can't get the higher high close. It's trying with all its might, still unable. So, I don't know. I don't know that I want to be in that space, man. I think you're better off being in the clothing space, and I think you're better off being in the I think you're better off being in the clothing space, and I think you're better off being in the sneaker kind of space too. But I don't really see that catching on yet. But I think it's more apparel than luxury is where my head is. I hope that helps. I spent a lot of time on that because I think about I think about what you're talking about a lot, John. Cat, I thought that this might get smoked on the deer news and give us an opportunity. They're just going to smoke deer. They're distinguishing between the two corporations now, between the farmer and they're distinguishing between the farmer and the industrial side, which they've always really done. If you look at like the Tractor Supply, right? Okay. But I'm not so sure on that. So take a profit. Take a profit. Take a profit. All right. I just trimmed some of that Oracle if you're following along. What were we doing? Oh, all right. So Caterpillar. So I thought the Caterpillar might come in on that. It's not. I think Caterpillar is super interesting the way that you held and the way that you held that low. I was watching this. And the other thing you got going for you is now you're getting a stronger dollar, which could be an issue for them. ASML. This gets really interesting. Do you need ASML to make TPUs? You know, it gets super interesting, but I don't know, man. Hold on one second. Thank you, British guy. All right, so I don't know, man. This one's a pickle. I lean towards this. I think I'm leaning towards this, because I'm going to flip again in here. And when I do, I think you're crazy not to try these when they flip. I really do think that. Like, even if they don't work, you're just nuts not to give it a shot, because you could be buying these things at institutional levels. And sometimes, man, like, you're buying this thing here at like 177, it flips, it doesn't even break down to 230. Like, you're just slaughtering it on these pullbacks sometimes, like, what's that? 57 points or 30%. Sometimes you can really nail these things. So, I mean, you're trend following, but I don't know, man. I think I'd be looking at this. You should do what you're comfortable with. You're going to double tap on me? Why would you do that to me? We were having such a good time. We were making friends. We were laughing, joking around. Why do you make me do this to you? Come on, push. Come on, little guy. Don't do it. Don't make me hurt you. Poo. Poo. Oh, for God's sake.
Order partially filled. Order filled.
Trimmed. Oof, they're running. Why are you running? Where are you going? They're going to fade that today. Yep, that's why we do it. That's why we did it. Looks like a double top. At least for now. You know, the Oracle's the one that really got away from me yesterday. Really got away from me. It really did. So I like it. I think you have to be super careful with like some of this other stuff. Amazon makes a ton of sense if you're like long term. If you go back and take a look at this chart, you know, when you really look at Amazon, all it did was get back to the 200-day moving average, which historically, that's where these guys are buying it. You know, they're buying it at that 200-day over and over again. So super interesting area for that. I don't really want to play in the second tier market right now until this settles down. I wanted to stick with where I have liquidity. I'm just better off there. So that's what I'm going to do. You know, wherever I have liquidity, I'm going to do that. XLY, I like XRT over XLY. I don't want to own the cruise lines. They have a real problem on their hands. A lot of their disposable incomes getting taken away from them, or a portion of their disposable incomes getting taken away from them. LABU versus RTG. It's night and day. That's night and day, dude. It's completely different. Like one's completely genomics, the other one's tied to the index. What's going on, Kev? I keep making plans to get up there and road trip up there, but it's not working. There it goes. There you go. Come on, do it. Do it. Where's my call wall? Oh my God. Oh, I got plenty of room. Plenty of room. Boeing. I mean, you couldn't really pay me to buy this, dude. I don't know, man. I don't know enough about the valuation area that I'm supposed to give a crap about this company. Do you know what I'm saying, Kev? So, like, is that the area where it stops? I don't know. I mean, not for nothing. It's not, it kind of respects it. Not really. So, you know, instead of like what I tend to do with technical analysis is I'll find my levels that are interesting. And then after that, what I do is then I'll see how we respond to those levels. There goes Oracle. Yay. You know, then I'll see how we respond to them. I don't know, man. I don't know that I'd be doing that trade, Kev. I'm not feeling it. This is where the cool kids are. You know, the lemonade trade, I got in this and I wound up getting out of it before it made any real money. I was in this in like the 30s. It made so much sense when they talked about their efficiencies. I just don't think, you know, I hate to say this, but I just don't think that the average guy with all this information is doing any research. And I think those that are doing fundamental research right now can freaking kill it. I really think that's where the edge is in this market right now. Like, it's absolutely crazy to me how well some of these names are doing after they tell you what they're going to do. Like, I bought it in here. I remember buying it And then I'm like, it couldn't get going. I couldn't understand it. But they talked about all their efficiencies, and then it finally caught. And now look at it. It makes a ton of sense. Like if you really go look at what they're doing with AI, it really cut their gross margins like a crap ton. And I don't think people or raise their gross margins a crap ton. They cut a ton of costs, dude. I don't think people get that. ALB, I don't know enough to talk about it. The chart looks fantastic. What's up, Jacob? Hello from Tokyo. Hello from Miami. I saw this YouTube video where this dude's like paid to sit with people in Tokyo and just eat with them. Super weird. I don't know. I'm always very cautious of this space. The thing about steel and why steel tends to go higher is steel goes higher because 2/3 of the cost to make steel are tied to crude oil. Same thing with like Goodyear tires, right? So whenever crude drops, and now you think crude's going to drop because Russia and the Ukraine are going to come to terms, and they're probably going to come to terms. And so crude's going to drop because all of a sudden Lukoil is going to be able to go in the open market, blah, blah, blah. You're seeing it with the tankers, right? So like it's all connected. That's why the tankers are starting to move again, right? So like it's like one big trade. So steel will break out because the cost of steel, like the cost of making rubber tires, like Goodyear, is like 2/3 of it is the price of oil. So whenever oil drops, these kinds of things should be lifting. And I would look at that. Yeah, I mean, it makes perfect sense. What's that, Mitel? Yeah, I mean, this makes so much sense to me, candidly, because as oil drops, like if you took a look at that chart, right, and then you took the crude oil chart, here, watch. But wait, there's more. And you took the crude oil chart, and we should really just do these, like do an after dark or something when I'm not so rushed. You see it? Look at it. But you see how like crude drops, and as crude drops, what's happening? And that's just because of the cost of steel. Their major cost is, of course, as I stated, oil. And I think that's important, man. I do. And, I'm going to just like put that out there, make it a little lesson in the room. Yay. More learning, more money, more wins, more success. All right. I think you're onto something there, dude. I might stick with the MT because it's such a clean trade. New back holders? Okay. I'm not going to have time to go through all this. I really think that, what time is it? Where's my little guy telling me this? Oh, you did tell me. Thanks, John. You're probably not a little guy. You're probably like 6'4". AVGO. I think if you're not looking at AVGO, you're doing yourself a huge disservice. Someone must have come out and said TPU bad, Oracle, NVIDIA good. Is that what we're dealing with today? Is that the crap today? NVIDIA good, AVGO bad. Okay. So, okay. May the odds be in your favor. I don't know these names, bro. BLD. I'm going to have to jump. I don't know anything about this company. I truly don't. I'd be talking out of my butt, and I don't want to do that. No. What do you got, Julian? What do you got, Jay? You love your Sophie. You're in love with Sophie. I don't know. You have issues, bro. Do I think it makes sense? I think it's pretty clear they're going to cut rates. Like, why did KRE move the way that it did yesterday? Because we know who the new Fed chair is going to be, unless they find something, on them. But we know the new Fed chair is going to be. That's why we went up yesterday. So I think you're okay with Sophie. Like, I don't think that that's going to be the end of the world. I think that you're probably going to see this stuff lift because they're going to be like, oh, okay, we're going this way, right? So probably like now too. Yeah. So like the home builders, it's probably a really good time to go through the home builders and see like which ones are trading up under book value and take a look at them because they're about to boom. But yeah, you have a big trade there. There's a big trade there. Yeah, I mean, the problem with Microsoft is that they hitch themselves to OpenAI, and they're trying to unwind that now, right? They started doing a deal with Anthropic for Excel. I don't know. I mean, it's hard. It's really hard to root against Microsoft. I think it depends on your time frame. I have no problem owning this thing and looking at like years, but you have to like really think about this and go, like I don't know what your time frame is or anything, but is this really where I want to get involved? Probably. Like if I'm a long-term guy, yeah, it probably is. Like this is probably really where you do want to get involved with it. That's sort of how I say it, but you should do what you're comfortable with. Hi, Lisa. No happy Wednesday. Oh, there it is. She did say it finally. So we're like, no happy Wednesday, no niceties, just get to it. Jesus. Do you want to do leaps? Let's go look at the implied vol. See where you're at, Lisa. What's going on there? Good news for people that are in the community today. I feel the muse upon me, so I'll probably be singing. So you have that going for you. If you're trying to get in there, you see something. They're pretty expensive right now. I don't know that I would be doing it right now. I don't know. You can, but they're expensive. I mean, you can do whatever you want. They're expensive. Hello from Colombia. Colorado's beautiful. Please don't make me look at this. You're going to make me look at this, aren't you, Mon? You're going to make me pull this up. You're going to make Dan very happy. I don't see it. I mean, you had huge volume the other day, but I just don't see it. I'd be real careful. You got to flip. And what I would do too, Mon, is I would take the top of that and then I would go to there and I would just see where you fit in from that peak to where you broke out on the huge volume and just drop your fibs right there. From that peak to where you broke out on that huge volume and just drop your fibs right there. I mean, you should do what you're comfortable with, but that might be one way to look at it. Thanks. What do you need from me? What do you got? I'll do it. I would watch that fib level on. That's how I would look at the whole chart. Or it could just reject. It's not even that. Like I think Dan Ives was out today saying it's like 12-1. It's something like 12-1. Good morning. Good morning. Good morning from Miami. Yeah, I like NBIS. I'm not gonna be able to get to all this, guys. I think it's a way of painting the tape. We have Stargate, we have Jennison Mission. He likes coming up with names, name things. Oracle and TikTok, there's a deal out there. Yeah, I had a bunch of people. I was in the industry for a real long period of time. Maybe I saw. I actually think they're tied to OpenAI is more of an issue than anything else. That's how I feel about it, but it doesn't matter. Teva's a beast. Teva's a freaking beast. I 100% agree. I was in this thing at 18 and got shaken out. Like now you're talking, man. 100%. That's going to be a monster. I mean, you're going to have that generic GPL. Like this thing's gone. I was shocked when I bought this thing at 18 that it didn't move. And that's what I keep saying about like research. I don't think people are doing a damn bit of research. Like I bought it and then I just blew it out because it didn't move because I have the patience of a gnat. I don't know, man. People still don't want to spend $47 on a burrito. World peace. I mean, I can't give you financial advice. I cut my losers. Hello from New York. Hello from Miami. I don't hold my losers. Like you have to go through it and say, what's your plan? Like, what's the plan? Like if I'm in a loser like this, you know, you might want to go read the news about MSCI might kick this thing out of like its index funds. You might want to go read that. Like that's the problem with this thing right now. If you don't have a stop on a trade, you're going to stop trading one day. Like I can just tell you from years of doing this. So do with that what you will. And then if you don't have a stop, go through your accounts and say, where would I get stopped out of all of this? Quantify that, see if you're comfortable with it. If you're not, you have a problem and you have to fix it. All right, I got to jump, guys. Make good choices today. Happy Thanksgiving.